Right. Hello and welcome to Should You Register for GST if you are not currently making over $75,000? So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Carly. I am the owner, creator, master, contributor to nail technicians all around the world. I own Your Nail Mentor. And my job essentially is to help nail technicians build highly successful businesses earning up to and over six figures. So I wanted to jump in and share with you this really it's not spoken about. And a lot of the time when you go and you speak to accountants, they're going to say, oh, no, you're not earning over $75,000 yet, so don't worry about registering for GST. And there's two sides to this little story. So I kind of wanted to share with you some of the experiences that I have personally had in my business when I grew it to like multi six figures, and things that I've learned along the way. Because you know what I've realized is a lot of people are leaving money on the table by not registering for GST because they're not earning over 75,000. So they're like, oh, well, I don't need to worry about this right now because it doesn't, it's not affecting me. So first of all, I'm just going to give you guys a couple of seconds to jump in whilst I load up my screen that I want to share with you. And it is my accounting, like the back end of my accounting system. So I just wanted to show you like real figures. Like for those of you who don't know me, I am like an open book. If somebody asks me something, I will help them to the best of my ability with like actual facts, things that I actually know about or have experienced, or, that I know work. And so, of course, today's going to be another example of me showing you exactly why why I feel like you should definitely be registered for GST, even if you're not making $75,000 yet. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Say hey if you are just jumping on. I'd love to know who is joining me. And I found it yesterday for us. Of course, I just need to find it now. All right. So there we go. And I want to go from this one to this one. All right. So like I said, I wanted to show you real life actual examples here of what I am talking about, because how are you going to learn if I just give you random examples that you can't actually see, forest to the trees type thing. You need to see it to understand what it is. Okay. There we go. We're all set up. All right. So hi guys. Hi. Okay. So let's talk about this real quick. So GST in Australia, it is a goods and service tax. It is something that the government has decided that it's going to add on to our purchases when we purchase from businesses in order to essentially keep the country running. Okay. So I'm not going to get into like the debate of taxes and all the rest of it because, we'll be here forever. But it is what it is. Okay, so we have a GST, goods and service tax, that is essentially charged to anything that is a goods or a service within Australia, minus like about this many things. Okay, so when you are running your business and you're just starting out and you go and you register your ABN, there's going to be a question there that says, would you like to register for GST? Now, if you're anything like me, you went, like, there's no way I'm going to be earning $75,000 anytime soon. So you click the no button. Okay. And that's normal. We do that. But I want you to reconsider why you have done that based on the discussion that we're going to have today. So when you register for GST, you do need to submit a BAS statement. So yes, it can be a little bit more technical. It's not just a matter of going to the accountant or, doing it online yourself at the end of June. Sorry. and just doing your your tax. Okay, there is a little bit more involved when you do register for GST because you have to submit your earnings essentially every single quarter. So my accountants just did mine for March, like this week. So it's like when you have an account, like it's a little bit, you get a little bit extra time to deal with all that stuff. I don't deal with it. That's their department. Like I pay a team to look after all that for me, but you don't have to pay a team. So that's number one thing that I think a lot of people, like the fear comes into, because like, fuck, like that's another thing that I need to pay for. That's another thing that my business now needs to cover in expenses. But you don't need to actually have an accountant in order to submit your BASs every quarter. You can do it yourself. I actually have a spreadsheet that I give my students that are in my Now Boss program that makes it super easy for them as well, because I understand that, look, you know, this is another thing that we have to do. So if I can save you guys money, we've got that too. The second thing that really freaks people out is, well, if I am getting to that stage where it kind of looks like I might be making that much money, you have to watch it, because if you do not register for GST within 21 days of actually hitting that threshold, you can get fined. And like there's a whole heap of stuff that can happen in the back end if you aren't paying attention to those sorts of things. And so that's an added stress that you need to then worry about, which, you know what, it's just not, like, it's just, you just don't need to, right? There's no need to worry about that. So I wanted to share with you my experience with GST and why I feel like it might just be something that you should probably have a little bit more of a look at. So right now, in 2 days, the government is opening up a new business grant for Queensland businesses, okay? So it's called the Business Basics Grant. Now, all through COVID, there has been different grants. There's always grants available for businesses. Every state has different grants. Sometimes you're like, well, why can't I get that? Like if I'm not in Queensland, like that sucks. But your state will have your own different ones. I am in Queensland, so I pay attention to them because obviously I am registering for grants, but I'm also keeping an eye on other states. So I will let you guys know when other ones pop up. But for Queensland, there is a new grant coming up. Now, if you're in another state, don't log off and go, okay, well, this isn't relevant to me, because it actually is, because I'm going to explain to you why in a second, okay? So a part of this new government grant, there's a certain criteria, okay, to be able to be eligible. Now, most of the time, I just want to quickly bring up the grant information on my phone so I can give you like exacts about it. So most of the time when there is any sort of grant from the government, they want to reward businesses doing the right thing. Okay, so if you've done any sort of work with me before, you know that I'm really, really big on not trying to do the dodgy on the down low, because it generally comes back to bite you on the ass. And this is one of those examples where, you know what, if you're trying to kind of, it's going to affect you in the long run. So this grant, okay, so to be eligible for the grant in Queensland, you need to have a registered business name within the last 4 years, okay? You need to have fewer than 20 employees. That does mean you as a sole trader as an employee. So if you're only a sole trader, you are still eligible. You need to have an ABN number. Hopefully you guys all have ABN numbers. If not, go and register for one today. You need to have a Queensland headquarters, not be insolvent or have owners or directors that are an undischarged bankrupt. And you need to be registered for GST, okay? So if you do tick all of those boxes, on Monday, the portal is going to open and you're going to be able to essentially request access to $5,000, okay? Now, there's different grants that come and go. Through COVID, I think I got about 20 grand in like government grants and stuff, just because I ran my business properly. I had an ABN. I was registered for GST. Obviously, I was earning, multi-six figures, so I had to be registered for GST. But, this is why I'm having this conversation with you guys, to really stop and think about, okay, should I register? So there's a grant coming if you're registered for GST for $5,000. Now, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get it, so therefore you should. But there's always multiple grants that come out, and one of the biggest criteria is that you are a company earning under like $1 million, or a business earning under $1 million, and most of you guys obviously are, that you are registered for GST, and different ones will have different criteria and stuff around it. But that's what this one is for. So Queensland and you are not registered for GST, but you meet all of that criteria, I highly recommend that you go and do it, because there's $5,000 on the table that you can go and request access to use towards building your business. So you can hire a coach or mentor, me, hi, to help you grow your business and scale really successfully. You can use it to go and get websites and stuff built. There's a few different things that you can use it for. Obviously, I am here to help you guys, and I've got a program that I will explain to you in a little bit about how you can use that money to with your GST registration. But the whole purpose of this conversation is to get you to stop and think about your business. So plus one is the fact that you not have to worry about if your business does get over that threshold, that you could potentially get a fine because you didn't register within 21 days. Plus two, governments give grants all the time. Okay, you just need to be willing to put in the effort to write the application and fill out the information that they're asking for. Okay, most people don't apply for scholarships. Okay, so if those, like, somebody does apply, they generally get it because nobody else applied. And if they put a little bit of effort in, and there might be like 3 people applied, then they might get it over the other 2 because they actually put in effort for a thing. So a lot of people don't apply for these grants because they don't know about them and they don't know how to. Third reason why you should register for GST. As a business owner, and as a business owner who is buying goods in order to essentially do their work. Okay, so if you were like a well, for me, right, being a business coach, this aspect of my business doesn't have many like purchases because I don't hold stock. I don't need to go and buy stock in order to do my job. Obviously, there's other things that I claim, but for you guys, you're buying nail polish, you're buying acrylic, you're buying nail files, you're buying like all this stuff. You have your registered like websites and hosting and online booking systems, like all the things that you use, even your phone bill, okay, your internet bill, there is a GST component because it is a good or a service, okay? So that 10% that you are paying on your bills anyway, you can actually claim back. So this is what I wanted to share with you. This is what I want to show you. So if you are running your business and you are making, say, $10,000 a month, okay, over 12 months, you would hit 120,000. So therefore, technically, you should be registered. So let's make it $5,000 a month. Okay, so you're running $5,000 a month. You're still not quite hitting that 75K mark, but your expenses, so money that you are spending on things for your business, okay, it comes out to be around, let's call it $1,500, okay? That $1,500 that you've spent in products and services for your business, most of it's going to have a GST component if you bought it in Australia. If you buy it overseas, therefore, like most of them, there isn't a GST component that you can claim. But if you're working with Australian businesses and larger Australian businesses, there's always going to be a GST component on your bills. If you guys work with me, there's a GST component on your bill, so you can actually claim that GST back, which is an added bonus anyway. But even if you're only making $5,000 a month, okay, and you have expenses of $1,500, 10% of that $1,500 would be $150. Multiplied by 3, is what? $450? Okay. So that's $450 that you could claim, and you can do it yourself. You don't need to have an accountant to do it, that you could claim, and the government would give you that $450 back because you paid it to somebody else, but then you did your BAS, and the numbers will work out, and it's like, okay, well, you took this much money, and then this is your GST component, so therefore there's a difference. Now, when you do register for GST, you will also need to pay GST. So for every client that comes to you, 10% needs to go to the tax man. Okay. So again, if you were running your business and you're making $5,000 a month, and your 10% would be $500, your goods and services that you paid was $450, you would have a bill of $50 that you would need to give the tax department. Okay. So this is where you need to really look at your costs of things, what you are spending your money on, and see whether or not it's actually going to be financially beneficial for you in the long run. Okay. A lot of people focus on right here, right now. And what I'm trying to help you guys do is really look at the long haul. So what is actually going to happen over time? And is it going to be more beneficial for you right now to register and claim that portion to be able to get access to government grants and stuff like that? Because look, to be honest, I have not seen one government grant that doesn't require GST registration. It's like, to the government, $75,000 is considered a small business. Anything other than under that, they kind of don't support in large capacities anyway. So this is where you've really got to stop, and you need to take a look at it. When you register for GST as well, you can put your prices up by 10%. So when I registered, the prices went up by $6, just like instantly, $6 price increase to cover that GST component. It didn't come out of my pocket. Okay. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to stop, and I want you to have a look at what you have essentially generated for the last month in your business. I then want you to go and look at all the money that you spent on your business and see just how much GST you have paid to other businesses. And then look at the profit that you, well, not so much the profit because it's overall total. So then look at how much you have brought into your business and work out what 10% of that would be. And then look at the two numbers, okay? And sit there and decide, all right, am I willing to register for GST and allow myself to essentially be eligible for all these different types of grants and stuff that is out there for businesses? Because I am deciding right here, right now, I am starting and I am running a legitimate business. And it's not that you're not running a legitimate business, but it's like this line in the sand. When you step up, when you go enough, when you register for your business name, an ABN, when you stop hiding and trying to just do cash sales like on the DL, like, and pretend, that's when things change massively for you in your business. Because it's like you get this whole massive support from the universe for going, okay, we're going to do this. Let's do this. And that's where the magic happens, right? That's when things just start to line up and you're like, fuck, I didn't realize it could be this easy, because it can be. You just need to choose for it to be easy. So registering for GST, guys, look, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I really do. Because you're constantly buying things, okay? You're constantly buying stuff for your business from other businesses that are registered for GST. So you should be claiming those payments and making extra money. You've got grants. Like, the whole point of this call is because of the grants that are available right now, okay? So if you want more information about how I can help you apply for that grant, and how you can work with me for free, because a grant will cover it, Like, how is that not a win-win? You apply for GST, you register your ABN number, we go through and we fill out this form, and the government will go, yep, that looks like a great use of, of money, and off you go. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? If you decide that you want to do the registration for GST, and then in 3 months' time, you're like, you know what, like this just, it isn't working. You can always deregister, okay? It's not set in stone. You don't have to just keep doing it forever and a day if it doesn't work in your favor. You do have options. It's just going to take a little bit of extra effort from you right now to see if it's going to be a benefit to you and your business to step up and make that next step. So the fact that you're watching this, you're kind of already sitting there going, okay, should I do this or should I not? Now, I said to you guys that I wanted to share with you a screen of one of my profit and, well, it's not so much my profit and loss, but it shows the GST registration and what that all looks like. So I just want to quickly bring it up on my phone here. Okay. Reports published GST. Okay. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Published. And this one. I just want to make sure it's the right one. Otherwise, it'll look really out of place. Nope. See, I knew I should have taken a screenshot of it yesterday because I'm now clicking on all these different ones. And it's not quite right. There we go. Okay, I found it. All right, so let's just share my screen so you can see what I am talking about. All right. So this here shows, like I said, I show you guys what I do all the time, so I'm not going to not show you this. So you can see here, I registered for GST in essentially it was the 15th of November, 2018, because I actually bought a car. And so that's another thing, right? So I registered for GST the day I bought my car because it's $5,000 that I was going to be spending because I bought a $50,000 car. $5,000 in GST that if I didn't register, I was going to lose, right? The government would be like, oh, thank you very much. And off they'd go. So that's one of the main reasons why I registered for GST is because, I like money and I would more than happily have the government give me that money. So that's what I registered. So this is what you are seeing. So this is when I registered. Okay. So I collected $2,237 worth of GST. Okay. The next one. All right. So essentially from 2018 to 2020, took $29,610 in GST from my sales. Okay. Now, this is one. I just want to also jump back. So this is one of my income streams. So I have multiple. I've got my nail business, like actual tangible nail business. And then I've got my trust and my companies, which all have their own separate ones. So, I have multiple, but I wanted to show you this one because this is the one where I obviously buy a lot of goods and stuff in order to do the service. Okay. So that's what I took. This is what I paid. So therefore, all little transaction accounts. When my accountants do their magic, over this entire period, I was then paid $6,946. All right. So over that time, the government gave me $7,000 on top of the $29,000 that I'd already taken from customers. So I didn't have to actually give them that $29,000. They paid me another $7,000. So I'm up $7,000 because I registered for GST. Okay. So I really want you to stop and to really have a look at if this is something that's going to benefit your business in the long term. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Send a message to the You're Now Mentor Facebook page and just say Nail Boss if you want more information on the program that essentially the government will pay for. And you know, if you for some reason don't get approved for the grant and you're like, I can't afford to do this right now, there's no obligation for you to do it. Okay, there's no money that you need to pay me right now to secure your spot or anything like that. It's just a conversation. A part of the application, you need to have an invoice from a business that you essentially are going to use the funds for, because they will check that. They will contact me and ask me for information. Okay, so if it's something that you want to do, feel free to reach out, and I'm more than happy to help you with that. If you want more information about like the grant and stuff like that, let me know and I will post the link for you guys. But I don't want to see you keep letting money just keep going without saying, hey, you should probably look at this. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.